Just no. Just no.
Stacey,
Just no.
you know your boyfriend that you're about to move in with and have been dating for a year? Yeah, well, I've been seeing his brother for like a month now, and it's my clock's ticking here. Like, really? Thank you for tuning into Lurkers,
The only podcast
where a real-life couple
discusses the internet's top relationship problems.
every week.
We are your hosts,
Lily.
and Rafi.
It's time to get real. Alright guys, welcome to this week's episode of Lurkers. I'm Lily.
And I'm Rafi.
This week we have a jam-packed little episode for you, and we are introducing our halftime user-submitted question of the week, submitted directly to us. You can find a link in our bio where you can submit your own anonymously, or reach out to us on @LurkersPodcast on Instagram to submit your questions. Do you want to talk about our first?
Yes, so today, the first topic is more of a serious one. And it is talking about destigmatizing mental health within the household and teenage mental illness.
Yeah. That one will be a serious one. And then the second one is absolutely absurd. We have some homewrecking siblings coming through trying to destroy each other's relationships. It's really messy.
Messy AF.
The kettle boils over in this one for sure.
No doubt. But yes, thank you for tuning in and enjoy episode number 2 of the Lurkers podcast.
Yes.
Are we starting?
Yeah.
Am I still holding your tea?
No, I can take my tea back. We're recording in the car right now.
Yes. This is the, well, I need to recant what I said last episode, and it being a historical marker, and that being the last episode we were going to record together, because this is actually the last episode we're going to record together, in person, of course.
We had a little extra time this week, and it just so happened that our recording day fell on the day that we would still be in person, but in 3 days, that will not be the case.
Yes.
Which is very sad.
Very, very sad. But this podcast is for happy.
It is for happy.
It is to make us laugh, and it's...
And to make you laugh. And
yeah.
You're here a second week in a row, or maybe you're tuning in for the first time. So, we hope you thought last week was funny. Hopefully this week will be also funny. We have no idea what we're going to be talking about this week yet, so that's TBA.
Yeah, it's very cold. If you want like a little vibe check on our end, beyond being sad, it's cold.
Yeah, we're currently sitting in the driveway at my house in my mom's car, and the heat doesn't work in the car, so we're just sitting in the cold car. I live in upstate New York, and there's snow on the ground, so our vibe check is cold in the car. Cold in the car.
But Lily's got her tea. Mm-hmm. I got my root beer. I think we're rearing to go.
Yeah.
So should we Philip DeFranco and let's just jump into it? Wait.
Oh, disclaimer.
Disclaimer, yes.
Neither of us are certified professionals.
No, we are not.
So, listen to what we say for funsies, but don't take any of our advice as psychological help or anything serious.
Yeah, and if you do, that's on you.
Alright, let's get into the tea.
A few moments later.
Alright, so let's just Philip DeFranco and jump into it.
Yes, we had a small technical difficulty, but now we are ready to commence.
Back in it.
Would you like to read?
I can read. Alright. So, what should I do about the note I found in my son's room? Is the title of the post, and it was posted by ThrowRA283723. Okay. So, my son, 15, came to me, 44 female, and his dad / my husband, 42 male, about wanting to see a counselor back in October. We sat down and had a talk with him, explaining that if he ever needed to talk about something, that we're here to listen and love him no matter what. We talked for a while, and he told us that he didn't want to share with us the reason he wanted to go, which is completely understandable. I had told him, and we both respect his privacy and have been taking him to sessions weekly since. When cleaning out his room yesterday, I found a note in the chest of drawers beside his bed titled, "How I See Myself." I usually wouldn't go through my children's things without reason, but generally his drawers are just filled with rubbish. He's too lazy to put it in the bin. And I understand that it wasn't my place to read it, and I should have just left it and pretend I never saw it. But I read it. And it was genuinely heartbreaking to read. Knowing that this is how he feels about himself, it was lines of negative views he has about himself, particularly ones such that he feels unlovable and worthless and a pain to everyone around me. Makes me question whether I've done enough as a mom to make him feel valued and loved as a person. I believe that note was meant for his counselor, as he had talked about before having to write stuff down for their sessions. I told my husband what I had found, and he thinks it's best we just pretend it was never there, as what goes on between him and his counselor is private and we shouldn't interfere unless asked. But I think it would be a good idea if we talked to him about it, and maybe us three just sat down and could go through it, helping him see that everything he listed isn't true together. Oof.
Initial impressions.
Oof, this one's hard. Just because it's like serious. This is our first like really serious one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. First things first. First impression. She shouldn't have read it. She shouldn't have read the letter. That's a major mistake and a major violation of privacy. And I don't think the son will feel good knowing that they read that.
Yeah. I agree. I initially just absolutely think she's right in her first instinct to pretend she never saw it. And what her husband thinks is that he also thinks that they should just pretend it was never there. Because her son did specifically say initially that he wanted to see a therapist because he wasn't comfortable talking to his parents about these things. And I just think this will make everyone feel worse and his son trust his parents less.
Yeah. And it's really hard because, like, I can't even imagine the position as a parent. You read something like that about your child and then you just have to pretend it never existed. I genuinely, I can't begin to imagine how difficult that would be, but, like, that's really what you have to do in this situation. I think maybe because you're aware of it, maybe be more aware of your actions and maybe try and have a little more positive energy around the house. And I mean that in the sense of, like, not, like, going out of your way to be, like, weird. And
like, you're so handsome, my handsome little boy.
Yeah, no, none of that. But just more of, like, more just, like, positive energy. When you have conversation topics at dinner, keep them positive and just, like, make sure your son's involved and just a part of you and your husband's just, like, daily bants and stuff.
Yeah, make your son feel loved and make him realize his worth and just go out of your way to show him how wanted he is and how much you appreciate him and value him as a son without bringing up the conversation directly. Like, I understand that as a parent, especially as a mother, you want to fix things for your child, especially when they're young. You know, that's your job to an extent. Like, when they fall and scrape their knee, to pick them up. But your son's 15 at this point, and he's starting to gather his own agency, and is making his own decisions in regards to his mental health. And I think to an extent you need to respect his privacy on this one.
Yeah, and I also would like to say, like, I don't think, like, reading the note was a very bad thing to do, but I also really respect the decision to just, like, listen to the son and let him go to counseling on his own. Mm-hmm. I think that is something that needs to be called out as great, because that really doesn't happen too often. Like, no questions asked. Like, yes, like, you want to take this into your own hands, we will allow you to. It's just, like, another reminder of how far the discussion of mental health has come.
Yeah.
in our times. Like, I'm a young millennial, so like, yeah, I was kind of spoiled in that sense, but like, even still, like, I have vivid memories of being told to suck it up, and like my just like general experiences with mental health and worrying about your mental health being, I guess, not defamed, but like shot down. Just like, yeah, you're not really depressed. Just like, or if you are depressed, you should just like feel better. Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, word.
Yeah, it's great that you're acknowledging your son's pain and want to make him feel better. But I don't know. That's just our initial impressions, though. Let's see what
Let's see what the comments
have to
say. If she has any responses or anything.
She's got 258 people out here thus far. All right. The top comment is from you/tiredmama26. And she says, don't tell him you read it. Instead, tell him how much you love him and positive affirmations every day. Depression kills. And responding to that, you/Casso Warrior says, right, never tell him you read the note, but do verbalize everything you love and admire about him. It's also a good idea to be open about any experiences you might have with feelings of depression and negative self-image yourself. Don't directly connect them to his own feelings, just talking about them openly and without stigma is providing a good model for him. OP, you say you worry about your parenting here, but I think that you should know it's really significant that he felt he could come to you and ask to see a counselor. Facts. That's a sign of trust and resilience. A lot of kids would suffer in silence because they don't trust their parents to support him. It's not a bad idea to see a counselor yourself to help you work on strategies for supporting him and to get support for the anxiety you might be feeling about this situation.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, hit the nail right on the head. Don't do our podcast for us, bro.
Yeah, it's a fact. But that's very well articulated.
Yeah, the idea of getting mental health support yourself is something we didn't mention, but I do wholeheartedly agree with. I do think that is not a bad idea, and mostly just the concept of destigmatizing it, I think is so important, because I feel like, just like from my own personal experience, the most strides that I made with my mental health were when I was in an environment where it was widely destigmatized, and it was just like something that, oh, you're having a bad day, like, let's talk about it, and not like suck it up. I think that's why this parent, just as this person said, like, should not worry about their parenting, for the exception of the fact that they did violate their kid's privacy. But she really did do a good job by just literally allowing their kid to take that step and feel comfortable enough to take that step.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say about on this comment, though, is maybe not talking about your own negative self-worth with your son. I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea personally, but maybe since it is your son, maybe let that be a conversation between your husband and your son, just because I know that body image can be very different for men and women, especially at an adolescent age when he's going through a bunch of changes, probably like feels weird sexually related pressures from girls and how to look a certain way, and that might be something that your husband is better able to connect with him on. This next comment is from Alice in Kingston, and Alice in Kingston says, I agree. Once OP tells her son that she snooped, he's going to feel worse and less willing to share anything with his or her father. My mother stole my diary as a kid and mocked everything I wrote about in it. I didn't journal again until after I moved out, and even still I hide the book. I don't think that's the same as, like, you found that note, you weren't intentionally searching for it and trying to steal it from your son, so if I was OP, I wouldn't compare myself to this mother specifically, but it is a testament to show, like, how an invasion of privacy can really mess with your child.
Yeah. Don't say the note. Don't mention the note.
Yeah.
And, like, he might pick up that you read it because you might start saying more positive things that maybe he never heard before, and that's okay. Let him pick it up and I think that's whatever, but openly admitting is a very bad idea, in my honest opinion. Hitting that zoom in button, that's big. All right. Beanie Blitz says lots of positive affirmations and maybe special trips together during the week. It could be just a once a week thing that you both enjoy doing, but it has to be consistent. Do it every week unless something comes up. It could be a movie date, game night, pizza, or a video game date. I'm not a gamer, but you can always do Pac-Man. Find something he enjoys and do it with him. Once you come up with an idea, run it past him and see if he likes the sound of it. It will help strengthen your bond and increase his self-worth. If you need ideas for days like this, just let us know. I'm sure Reddit can come up with something. Personally, I wouldn't tell him you found the note. Excuse me, can't even get that sentence out. Excuse me, I shouldn't have been drinking root beer during the middle of this. Personally, I wouldn't tell him that you found the note. It suggests an invasion of privacy and will make you out to be wronging him, which right now, he might not realize that you're only trying to help. Actions always speak louder than words. Show him that he matters to you. Big facts. Big freaking facts. I do think that idea, that consistency, because they bolded consistency, and I do think consistency is important, but I think just doing something with your kid is a great idea. Because like things come up, we're in the middle of a pandemic, a lot of things can come up. So like if you can't do it a couple of weeks because work from home gets crazy or you have a long day at work, and it's fair, but like
I don't agree with that though. I feel like it has to be consistent no matter what, that way your son knows that he's a priority over work and that he's a priority because as a parent he should be.
You're right. I don't know. I just like, I do, maybe it's just because I'm older and I understand like giving the benefit of the doubt that sometimes things get hard, but like having a kid, yeah. And like especially in this scenario where he's having struggles with his self-worth, like you don't want him to feel like he's like burdening you because you have work.
Yeah.
Like yeah, no, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. Yeah, but I do think inactivity is very good. Actions do speak louder than words. And showing that support just in a way that isn't necessarily construed as showing support. Just like literally hanging out with your kid and like, yo, you want to get pizza every week? You want to play video games? Like, heck yeah.
Yeah, like show interest in what your son's like. And what your son likes, like what kind of TV shows he likes to watch, if he likes to watch any specific sports. Yeah. But definitely, I think we can come to the consensus that telling him you found the note and sitting down for a family discussion is certified not the move.
Certified not the move. That's stamp of approval, the certified stamp of approval right there. Do not do that. I don't know. I think every comment's kind of getting at the same thing at this point, though.
Yeah.
Keep it positive. Push to do things with your kid.
This is the certified advice.
Yes, this is the official certified advice. Keep things positive. Don't tell him you found the note. Try and do more positive things with try and do more with your kid.
Yeah.
And show, don't tell.
Yeah, and maybe let your husband help him destigmatize men's body image issues by talking about his own with him.
Yes.
And seek counseling yourself for how to deal with the situation. Because this is pretty serious, and this could really mess your son up if it's not handled carefully.
Yes, depression does kill. And I would just like to add on to this, like, always a good recommendation is to seek counseling. Mm-hmm. Life gets hard sometimes. We're in the middle of a pandemic. That isn't being handled well around the world, realistically, but you focus on America, and it's an absolute crap show, to say the least.
Yeah.
And so I do think if the times are getting hard, there's a lot of resources. You can look at online to try and seek help. And if you have the financial means, definitely try and seek a professional counselor, go to counseling. And if not, there are some free resources, which I think we can provide maybe in the show notes.
Yeah.
Shout out in the show notes, yes. Word.
All right.
So,
So,
that was the first one of the day. Should we get into a user submission?
a user submission.
A user submission. There was one user submission this week.
Oh, yes. So, every week, as long as y'all keep sending them our way, if you reach out to us on our Instagram page, shoot us a little DM, which is, our Instagram is linked in the show notes. It's at Lurkers Podcast. You could DM us your own little relationship problem, and we will try to address one a week as the little halftime break in the show.
Yes. Do I have my phone? I don't have my phone. Do you have your phone?
I don't have my phone.
One eternity later.
Alrighty then.
Alright.
So,
So.
the user submission of the week.
Oh.
For real this time.
For real. Okay.
The first user submission question is, how does one refrain from crying while looking at my sexual history?
Ooh.
I laugh
I feel-
because it hurts. Yeah, no. That's a good question.
How do I refrain from crying? Don't think about it.
Yeah, like honestly.
I think one of the worst things I ever heard, I do a lot of yoga. I've even gotten Rafi to start doing yoga with me
Yes.
for in the 2021 New Year, which has been fantastic.
It hurts.
It should feel the burn. Yoga is a lot more intense than people give it credit for. But in those communities, one of the most jarring things I ever heard was this mother saying to her daughter that you carry the energy of everyone you have sex with for 7 years, and ever since I heard that, I have not been able to stop thinking about it. I'm disgusted with it. It's a terrifying thought. I don't know why I'm saying this, because OP really should not be thinking about this, and I'm sorry if I just ruined your life by telling you that fact. But it is that woo-woo spiritual stuff, so
That
probably
did
not true.
That did just ruin my day. I mean, yeah, no, don't think about it is good advice, but like, honestly, this goes two ways. Number one, it's okay to make mistakes. Number two, if you haven't had as much sex as society tells you to, or it tells you should have, guess what? It doesn't matter. Sex happens, and you will have it at some point in your life.
Also, if you're crying because the person or people were just
total pieces of you take their belongings and burn them and hex them. Send all of that negative back to them.
You can
and
do that.
ruin their life.
Give them scabies.
I'm gonna downpitch that. I'm gonna put a lot of reverb on it. It's gonna be terrifying. No, yeah, you could do that.
That's one solution.
That's another solution.
It's actually, like, even if you don't believe in that kind of stuff, it's very liberating to just curse someone who's a piece of garbage. It's very liberating.
No, facts. Just like, especially, I do think the act of burning, especially, because it's just like, whether you're into the spiritual woo-woo or not, like, it's just nice to get rid of something, you know, and I mean, this might be like my inner pyromaniac being like, I like setting things on fire. But like, I do like setting things on fire. It's fun.
And
and
it's
it
a
feels
good
good.
release.
It is.
Even if you don't have any of their belongings, just write their name on a piece of paper or their names on a piece of paper and just burn it.
Or you could write it into some like wood and then have like a lot of fire for a while and get to look at the fire for a long time.
Or a very small fire, which is also, like, totally fine.
Yeah, whatever you're feeling. If you're feeling pyromaniac-y that day,
Yeah.
set some ish on fire. But yeah, so official user-submitted advice. You could not think about it. You could
Push the mother.
you could curse them. You could also just accept the fact that people make mistakes and work on coming to terms with that, which I know isn't easy and much easier said than done. But it is something that we all need to learn to do, even though a lot of the people listening to this are young, especially in the grand scheme of things. You will always make mistakes. You will always make mistakes. There will always be choices you could have made at certain intersections, and you didn't make those choices sometimes, and that doesn't make you lesser. That doesn't make you a worse person. It makes you human, and there's a beauty in that. And it's very hard to see the beauty in a lot of situations, but at the end of the day, learn to laugh about it, learn to accept your mistakes, or just never think about it. Repress, repress, repress.
Get really laughy about it and just listen to our podcast, and then realize that some people have really, really messed up sexual lives, and hopefully at least some of these that we discuss are more messed up than yours.
Yes,
So.
yes. That's a fact. If that first episode, I think, should make you feel better about yourself. Unless it was you that wrote it, in which case...
No judgment.
No judgment, yeah.
No judgment.
No judgment. You shipped it, but yeah, you wild for that one.
All
So,
right.
first user advice. Done.
Dunzo, submit your advice. Also, let us know if we should set up like an anonymous Dropbox. Maybe that'll be coming. I might try to set that up before this is on air. I'm going to set that up because I think that would be a good idea. So look in the show notes for a link to where you can submit your own questions anonymously.
Yes. All right.
All
So,
right.
would you like to read this, the second and final
Number
relationship
2.
advice?
Yes, I would. Alright, this was posted by u/throwa AJSJSS. My mom and sister want me to break up with my boyfriend because she's now dating his brother, and since they're older and, quote, more mature, their relationship is more serious. Dun dun dun!
No judgment. No judgment.
Alright. Let's get into it.
Let's read.
I'm a junior in college, and I've been with my boyfriend since the beginning of sophomore year. It's been a year. We are both 21. I know it's only been a year, but I really love him, and we even have plans of living together soon and have started touring apartments. Our relationship is great. He treats me well, and we click so good. My parents loved him and his family and approved of him greatly as well. Our families have met twice. Both times were great, and when I introduced my sister, 31, to his brother, 32, I didn't think it would ever get romantic or even friendly, honestly. But apparently, they exchanged social medias and numbers and started being friends and doing things together. My mom and sister would tell me she's seeing a friend, and I would later find out it was my boyfriend's brother. I thought it was really weird, but oddly my mother would encourage it and say they are really good together. I asked her what that meant, and she said she's never seen my sister click with a guy so much. ... At that point, I was already disgusted because, hello, that's my boyfriend's brother. Why does it seem like you want them together? My mom told me that I'm young and to hush, basically. A few weeks ago, my sister and him were at the house when I got back from work to tell me that they have been dating for a few months and are now official. They hadn't told my boyfriend, but my sister wanted me to know first because she wanted to be honest with me. We got into a big argument. My boyfriend's brother then left to their family house to tell him, while my sister tried to explain to me that she couldn't help falling in love with him and that she's older than me and looking for something serious, and at 21 I'm just starting my life and will probably date a lot of guys, and I need to just accept that she's with him and they're interested in something long-term or even marriage. Later, my mom came home and co-signed, saying that I'm really young and my boyfriend and I's year is nothing compared to two people in their 30s both looking for the same thing. My boyfriend's parents don't care that he's still with me, but his brother is telling him that he needs to break up with me. We've already spoken for hours about this the past few weeks and decided not to break up because his brother and my family want us to. We're still planning on moving in together. We were together first, so why should I end things because my sister and his brother are now, quote, serious? My family is all bullying me and ganging up on me every day, saying I am selfish and that in a few years' time I'll look back after dating different guys and I'll see how big of an asshole I am. My sister is saying that she and his brother want to start a family and life together, and at 21, I'm not interested in having a serious family and relationship, and I'm robbing her of that chance because she doesn't have forever, and she found the, quote, one, and I'm too young to know what I truly want. But am I?
Wow. What a toxic situation.
I can tell OP is pissed.
As she should be. As she should be. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
All right, first impressions. First impressions.
First impressions, your sister is... You can bleep this, right?
Yeah.
Your sister's a...
Yeah.
Also, what is your mom doing? Like... Honestly, if you're a Christian and live in the South and your sister's being rushed into marriage because her eggs are shriveling or whatever, which they're not because she's 31, and quite frankly, she does not need to settle down and marry right now either.
Yeah. No, that's bad. That's real bad. That's Michael Jackson bad. I'm at a loss for words. Like, the brother, the sister, and the family are so toxic. Maybe I'm just, like, distorted in my views, but, like, why can't they both date?
Yeah.
Why is this an issue?
Yeah.
The only people
That's a fact. See who breaks up first.
Yeah. Legit. The only people being childish are the family and the older people.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, y'all both can still date.
Yeah, like, what is your sister and her boyfriend afraid of?
Facts.
Like, also, y'all have been dating for a year and are considering getting an apartment together. Like, that's not little kid, we don't know what we're doing stuff. Like,
yeah, you're growing.
That's some adult decision-making right there.
Facts. And, like, also, can I just say, like, this, like, genuinely, like, has upset me. Because, like, it doesn't, like... I'm not getting the familial issues here. So, like, if say the sister and brother get married, and then that makes the two brother-in-laws, their brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Why can't they still get married?
That's in-law. Like, it's not like anyone.
It's not like.
What are you doing, step bro?
There's nothing like inherently disgusting about this situation. I think the parents.
Wait. On
so
that
toxic.
note, the OP responded to the top comment. Yeah. Let's see what this update is. More tea. So user Super Small Nugget has the top comment, and Super Small Nugget says, I'm super confused as to why you can't both date who you want. They seem pretty unrelated to me. In fact, you breaking up with your guy could cause issues between the families, right? And the OP posted back, my mom thinks it's shameful. I honestly don't care what people think because I was with my boyfriend first. My sister and mom think that me dating into her future husband's family is nasty. And he's basically my, quote, brother-in-law now, and that we were casual friends before we started dating, so we should just go back to being casual friends.
This mother is so just toxic. Like, I feel like I've been poisoned just by reading this. Like, this is viscerally upsetting to me. Like, there's just nothing about this that's wrong. Like, two people fell in love. Two separate sets of people fell in love.
Yeah.
It's not incestual in any way, shape, or form. What's the big deal? You literally can Google, like, brothers-in-laws getting married. And that's outside of, like, royal families.
Yeah, I mean, maybe find some really bougie couple examples to show your mom, but, like, honestly, if you're about to get an apartment with your boyfriend, you're clearly making adult decisions, and, like, oh, God, just, like, screw these toxic people. I wonder how her dad feels about this. And also, like...
I feel like the dad is probably agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah, just agreeing with the mom just to... So he doesn't have to face the wrath of...
Yeah, don't pull your dad into this.
Yeah.
It's fine. He's probably staying out of it intentionally because this is just absurd.
My mom thinks it's shameful. Shameful is just such a
Your mother's behavior is shameful.
retweet. Like, oh my gosh.
Like what? She's afraid of your sister's eggs freaking drying up because she just met this random guy. Like, help your... Gosh darn it.
Also, it's just like the brother. Can we just talk about the brother? Like,
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the brother being like, bro, you need to break up. I love this girl, bro. Just break up
I
with
just
her.
met her like a month ago, but like we're gonna get married and have babies because both of us are trying out.
Like what? Bro, what? Like, okay, you can have children together, but like, it just no, just no. Just
Stacey,
no.
you know your boyfriend that you're about to move in with and have been dating for a year? Yeah, well, I've been seeing his brother for like a month now, and it's you know, my clock's ticking here. Like, really? Really? I think your sister's advice also of saying like there's other fish in the sea is kind of ironic because same.
For real though, like the fact that they're calling her selfish is like Donald Trump levels of projection.
Yeah.
Like, it's visceral projection. It is just like textbook projection. Like that, it is so selfish to not see that at the very least, these two, sure, you're 21. Are you young? No doubt. You're very young. That
you
is an
date other
objective
people?
truth.
Perhaps.
But regardless, you're happy. And like as a parent, that's all like you've won. You've succeeded.
Exactly.
You've succeeded as a parent. If your child is 21 and happy, you've done a good job. And they're making plans with this other human to do adult thing. And like to call them childish and selfish because they've been dating for a year or whatever. Like, yeah. No, that you're being selfish. Like, you're the selfish one. We're gonna have to go into the controversial.
Getting home wrecked by your sister.
Like, what? We need to go. The second top comment is tell them to f*** off. Thank you, Teen Witch's brother. I couldn't agree more. I want to see what the controversial is saying.
Yeah.
I want to see if like other human beings agree with the family.
Tell them you're pregnant. It'll be so funny. Please.
Beagleston or Beagleson. I agree. I agree with that one. Dr. Juice has -9 points. Uh-oh. What you saying? What? It's hard to decipher, but it seems to be you objecting to their relationship. It's his brother demanding you split up because he's an idiot, or is it because you're being hostile about it? Everyone is being very silly. This isn't incest. It's coincidence. It does not matter. All of you grow up. I don't think she's being...
Yeah, I don't think she...
Yeah, D-Juice, shut up.
I think D-Juice just misunderstood the post.
Take this down vote.
Oh, this is a good one. User Puppet007 says, you've been with your boyfriend longer than your sister's relationship with his brother. Try to piss them off by getting engaged first or eloping before them. With how those two treat your relationship, I doubt that their, quote, relationship will last long. Lols, but no.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Certified, don't do that. I do agree, though, that I don't know how long their relationship is going to last if they're that insecure. Because there's, like, a level of insecurity along with the childishness.
Yeah, someone else, user retired guy Ken, also said, you want to get them riled up, get married first. Please don't.
Yeah, that's bad advice.
Please don't.
It's bad advice.
You are young. I mean, if you want to get married like that badly, you've only been dating a year though, so like I do not suggest that. But no. No.
I do think there is...
No shotgun weddings to beat your sister to it.
Yeah, I do think there's something objectively comical about that. However, in terms of good advice,
Serious advice.
that is not good advice. All right, we got somebody else saying everybody's being ridiculous. Emerald Eyes 06. Oh, people are tagging OP in this. All right, this is T. This is the one we want. So Emerald Eyes 06 says, I'm going to go against the grain here and say you're all being ridiculous. You opened the door to this when you framed your sister and the brother starting to date as disgusting because that's your boyfriend's brother. If you can make that outrageous judgment on them starting to date, then they can be outrageous as well. None of this is to say that you should break up with your boyfriend. That's insane, and the reasoning is stupid. But you had the same thoughts as your mother's sister and the brother seem to be having, so honestly, you all need to get your heads out of your asses and each other's business. Your relationships are not dependent or contingent on each other, so just let them develop as they do, and everyone stays happy. I don't understand why no one else seems to have noticed this. Edit, even if you thought it was really weird when they were just being friendly and getting to know each other, it really seems like you have the same mindset as your mother and sister, but don't like it being applied to you.
That's a fact.
I mean, I didn't really get that from OP.
I mean, wait, let's go to the post. Is that... Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
she literally says, at this point, I was already disgusted because, hello, that's my boyfriend's brother. Yeah, you need to grow up too, honey.
Yeah, no, we were too quick to jump on your side. Yeah, you definitely need to grow up.
Your sister and your mom aren't right, but you clearly have the same mindset as them. You, like, all of y'all need to take some grown-up pills. Put on your big girl panties or freaking argue between each other.
Yeah, like, I just, like, Emerald Eyes, yeah, thank you for pointing this out. We were quick to shoot it down, but, like, realistically, no. How is it disgusting? How is it disgusting? Like, this is, like, I literally just wanted to go to the comments to see if there was, like, one dude that's like, yeah, this is disgusting. Like, this is incestuous. And, like, I want to know his thinking.
Yeah.
Or their thinking. But, like, I just really don't. Like, it is so childish. People fall in love with who they fall in love with. No part of this is incestuous. Especially since there's probably combined not even 2 years of relationship. Not even a year and a half of relationship between the two of y'all. Like, none of this is disgusting. Or the four of you, sorry. None of this is disgusting. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty solid on how I feel about this.
Yeah,
What
so,
about you?
advice?
Final advice.
Final advice?
First of all, I think that if you want your sister to respect your relationship, you need to respect hers first and foremost. And I think in order to get to that point, we need to take a little bit of objectivity here. You know, realize that these are two separate relationships. There's no incest going on here. And more likely than not, either your sister and your boyfriend's brother are going to break up, or you and your boyfriend are going to break up at some point in time, if this is really that much of an issue for you, if you're thinking. But, like, then again, y'all could be two old couples being all cute and vibing together eventually, even if that somehow ends up happening. So, like, show some love, show some self-growth, you know, try to talk it out. I can imagine the situation is very screamy, yelly, so maybe try to cool it down a notch.
Agreed. Yeah, that should just be the official advice. Just cool it down a notch. Take some grown-up pills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's... There really isn't much more to that. There's nothing weird about this relation. There's nothing weird about it.
Yeah.
That simple.
Stamp.
Stamp. Blah. All right.
I'm disgusted.
Disgusting!
All right.
So,
that was a doozy. I'm glad we were able to end things on a lighter note, discuss destigmatizing mental health. I would say this was a pretty well-rounded episode. I don't know about you.
oh yeah, I'd agree wholeheartedly. Definitely kind of a good, also first introduction to the user question.
Yeah.
The first user question was asked.
Yeah.
I'd be darned to say if I didn't feel that question. But yeah, do y'all hear how little bleeps have been in my voice today?
Oh,
yeah,
so
you had
I'm
a few
sorry.
today. You had a few today. There's gonna be a lot of editing to do. But you know, it be that way sometimes.
And also, thank y'all so much, if you're listening right now, for sticking through with us into the second week. You know, we're still working out the kinks a little bit, but it'll be interesting, because next week we will be very far apart and very sad. So there might be some feels next episode, but I'm glad y'all got to join us in one of our last days together.
Yes. This was a historic moment. The historic stamp that was supposed to be put on last episode has been whited out and replaced on this one.
All
right.
Well, if you enjoyed this podcast and you want to hear more, subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram at Lurkers Podcast. Let us know what you thought and suggest any posts for next time or submit your own questions. If you want to submit a question anonymously, the link to that will be in the show notes.
And other than that, have a great week.
The Lurk and Larry's. All right,
we botched that one.
Yeah,
we botched that one.
All right.
Should we
have a great week, you Lurk and Larry's. See you next Sunday.
Thank you for tuning into Lurkers.
The #1
and only
r/relationship advice podcast.